All right, so I want to continue on with the third temple, give you a little bit more information, and tying in some of the other prophecies as well. Now, Paul was warning about this third temple and rebuilding the temple and the Antichrist going into it. We also see in Paul's writing in 1 Thessalonians 5:3 where he warns us that in the last days, essentially what we're going to see, and we are seeing it by the way, that Israel will be calling for peace and safety. And when that is being heard, guess what? Are they going to get peace? Well, that's not what he wrote in the scriptures. What he tells us is the exact opposite. We know that sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So what we know is, and what we should expect, Israel and the Arabs to formally call for peace and safety. They've been doing that for a very, very long time to no avail. So we're seeing the birth pangs inside the writings of what Paul told us about. The call for peace and safety, it's not happening. It's falling apart. Travail upon a woman. And then we know that the war is going to break out. Now, one of the wars that haven't happened yet, as I pointed out many times here at my post, let me show you, the Psalm 83 war. And here's all the people that are in this war in Psalm 83. They're going to be coming against Israel in the last days. And one of the major components of the Psalm 83, obviously, when you take a look at the people listed, are going to be the Palestinians, the Hamas in the Gaza Strip, also known as Hezbollah. There's many factions, but they're the PLO. So the PLO are going to play a major role. And if you're watching the PLO engage with Israel right now in the failed peace process, you're seeing the very words that Paul warned us about in the last days. So let me connect the dots here. I'm going to scroll up here for a second, so bear with me. The headline to the article, Hamas. Now this is a group that is also in the Gaza Strip, of which we read, or you can see in the map at my website, that is mentioned in the Psalm 83. Hamas calls on Abbas. Now Abbas, for those of you who are not familiar with the Middle East crisis going on, Abbas is the president of the Palestinians in the Gaza, exactly where the Lord shows us the problems are going to be coming from, or part of this group attacking Israel from the Gaza. So this is not a coincidence. So you have the other faction, the Hamas, calls on Abbas, the president of the PLO, to unleash the resistance in the West Bank. In other words, start fighting against Israel. And of course, we know that the conflict is coming, and the conflict will end up being a Psalm 83 fulfillment. And that is, I believe, not very far off. So take a look at what is written here. It says, Hamas on Wednesday called on the Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas to unleash the resistance in the West Bank against Israel. The Hamas call came following Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's decision to cut high-level economic and civilian contacts with the Palestinian Authority. In an official statement released by the spokesperson, Fayez Brahim, the Hamas said Netanyahu's move to end the cooperation with the Palestinian Authority obligated Abbas to allow the, get this, the unleashing of resistance. Now, this is where I'm going to tie in the third temple. You're going to see it in a second here. Look what he says. In order to deter Israeli occupier and to defend our people. Now look at this. This is where the connection comes. Our land and our holy sites. Now, one of the major sticking points in the failed peace process is ownership of East Jerusalem. And guess what's in East Jerusalem? The Temple Mount. What's on the Temple Mount? The Dome of the Rock, the third most holy place for the Muslims. And this is where the third temple is going to be rebuilt. So when Abbas is referring to, or the people are referring to their holy sites, believe me, they know what Israel is doing. And in my first video I showed you, or I explained to you, that the Palestinians and the Arabs know that training the priest and making their sacrifices or rehearsing their sacrifices is just one step away from actually starting to do it. And this is why they have a concern about their holy sites, because they do not want to relinquish this area. In this area alone, if Israel were to do that, that could cause the Psalm 83 war for igniting, if you will. Now, going on in this article, it says this, that the Hamas statement called on the Palestinian Authority to end the peace negotiations. What did Paul say? Sudden destruction, when they're calling for peace and safety. You think these articles are coincidence, that what is being read here is just a fluke of nature? It isn't. This is what the Lord told us. He said, keep on the watch. Watch what? Well, obviously, he told us exactly what to watch for, and we are seeing it. Here you go, almost word for word, what's going on here. So again, the Hamas statement called on the Palestinian Authority to end the peace negotiations, to end security. Didn't the Lord say when they're calling for peace and what? Safety, security, it's the same thing. Coordination with the occupation, and to embark on an international and regional campaign to delimitize it. Netanyahu's move today proves that there is not place for negotiations, and there is danger to continue them under any pretense. The statement read April 9th, 2014, and that was yesterday's mail. So, you have, again, the warning in the scriptures. We see the identical same things taking place right now. Is it a coincidence? Not at all. Not at all. These are the last day signs. Expect to see these things in the news, and expect to see another conflict between the Arabs and Israel. It is coming without a shadow of a doubt. This is Frank DeMora, giving you the connection between Bible prophecy and current events. God bless.